Hello and welcome back to Gart Films. And if you're new, I don't really know how you wandered in here, but anyways. Well, let's get started with this pathetic Blu Ray collection. So first is Your Name by Makoto Shinkai. So I heard that this movie was pretty good, and it was very good. The animation was great, and the overall story I thought was really interesting. So yeah, if you haven't picked this up, it's pretty good. Next we have A Ghost Story. It's really good. It's definitely art house, definitely an art house film. Cinematography is pretty grand. Yeah, overall it's a really great movie. I'd consider picking it up. It's not too pretentious, but it's kind of borderline. Alright, next we get into my obsession this year, Boruto, Naruto the movie. Pick this up because you can't really stream anime movies anywhere, so it's as you expect. It's your typical action-y shonen movie. Naruto the Last. It's pretty much like the other one. I like the case more. I like the you know, overall look of the case. This movie was pretty good. Again, like Boruto, it's your typical Naruto flick, I should say. It's pretty fun to watch. Then we have Ex Machina. I haven't seen this in a little bit, and I remember it being very good. So I definitely recommend this on Blu-ray. Sicario. Sicario was a movie that you see and you thought it was pretty good, but then you really think it's special once it sinks in. So Sicario, definitely I would check this out, about the drug trade and stuff like that, and the stuff that happens, some of the shady stuff that the US does. Everyone was fantastic in this film. I definitely recommend this. X-Men, Days of Future Past, with the sticker kind of torn off, kind of not. So yeah, this movie was very good. It was a very different superhero movie. I really enjoyed this one. This one was like, kind of like, yeah, I'd say it's a top pick for Marvel movies. Very well done, very well executed. Wolverine and everyone was great in this movie, like they usually are. Next, we have Full Metal Jacket, classic Vietnam movie. Very awesome, Stanley Kubrick. He's a genius, of course. Yeah, must have. Very great movie. Star Wars, The Force Awakens, J.J. Abrams. I really loved it at first. The hype really carried how a lot of people thought about this movie. It's still good. It's a fun movie. It's not a bad Star Wars movie. I'm not a huge fan of the sequel Star Wars trilogy. Overall, it's well acted. Villain's pretty good. Yeah, Fight Club by, I should know this. It's, David Fincher, I got that. Another classic, very good, dark and twisted, and plus the banter is very Tarantino-like. If you really listen to the banter, it's very like thought-provoking and very interesting and often pretty funny. So overall, very good movie. I recommend completely. John Wick is awesome. John Wick is a great action flick, I'm telling you. It's so great. Keanu Reeves just goes in this movie. Yeah, cinematography, the action choreography is awesome. I definitely recommend watching this. This is very good. By the way, these are not in ABC order, as you could probably tell, because, you know, I didn't really feel like it. Next we have Deadpool. This has a very great Blu Ray cover. It feels like what his mask would feel like, I guess. And on the back, it's very like, you have your comic book stuff, you have your comic book like type of look. I thought that was really cool. So this movie was very surprising. I definitely recommend this. Then we have John Wick 2. John Wick 2 is, I personally think it's better than the first one. John Wick 2 is amazing. The action, the choreography, Keanu Reeves again. Pretty much everything about the first one, but double. I should say double the action, double the choreography. I don't know how you can double choreography, but better choreography, I should say. It has a great gearing up scene, and I have a thing for gearing up scenes, I don't know why. Next we have Shawshank Redemption, another classic film. Very good, also a failed peeling of a sticker. Very good. People are saying it's the greatest movie of all time, and I'm probably going to get lynched for this, but it may be a little overrated. I honestly think Green Mile is better than Shawshank Redemption, but Shawshank Redemption is still a great story, great movie. I definitely recommend that too. Okay. The Revenant with Leonardo DiCaprio, and finally won his Oscar. Some of the stuff he went through with this movie was like pretty intense. The movie overall, the cinematography was insane for this movie. The opening scene and the fighting and just everything really about this movie was very, very well executed. I definitely recommend this, by the way, too. So, probably gonna recommend every single one of these because I own them. So, yeah. So, The Raid, Redemption, the best action choreography I've ever seen in a movie. This movie is just awesome. This movie is intense, insane. Story-wise, it's like your typical action movie. We get in, we get the bad guy, we go out, and stuff goes wrong. Big surprise. Ooh, very good. I haven't seen many SWAT movies, but this takes the cake for best action SWAT movie. And we got The Raid 2, arguably better than the first one. Yeah, okay, yeah, I'd say it's better than the first one. So Mad Max Fury Road, overall, awesome, intense action movie. Cinematography was insane. The choreography, the direction, the use of practical effects over CGI. You've heard all this stuff about a million times. Just amazing film. Please own this. Okay, next we have The Hateful Eight. Very good. Directed by my favorite director, Quentin Tarantino. His 8th film. 8 people in a cabin. The feel of the cabin, how it feels really cold, and all the characters were just like very, very, very well executed. Cinematography, the action, the dialogue, of course, is amazing. Drive, the art house film that literally every film buff talks about, but don't get me wrong, it's definitely not overrated. This film is amazing. The cinematography, the dialogue, the story, the characterization, the use of visual storytelling over just people actually saying every little thing that they're doing. Very just brilliant film. Captain America: The Winter Soldier. It has a different take on Captain America. Instead of it being just Captain America and he finds a bad guy, he loses, but in the end he prevails. It's pretty much that, but it has an espionage take on it, so it's your Marvel Cinematic Universe, you know, high budget, action, explosions, CGI's great, pretty much everything about this movie's great. Overall, very good Marvel movie. Next we have Captain America: Civil War. It's very good. It introduced Black Panther, which Black Panther's a pretty cool character. When I first heard about Captain America 3, it was just called Captain America 3. There was never like Civil War or anything. So I didn't really know what to expect, another Captain America movie. Yeah, the cast was awesome. That airport scene, some good stuff. Definitely one of the Marvel Cinematic Universe's best movies, I'd say. Now, Alien, I got it with like an original artwork on the Blu Ray. Alien is about sci-fi horror at its best, you know? You have Ellen Ripley, who's just awesome, and she's like fighting against actually, she doesn't really fight against. It's just the alien kind of just picks off her squad one by one and pretty much just like destroys everything that they're trying to do. Overall, science fiction horror at its best, like I said. Awesome movie. Okay, probably my second or third favorite sci-fi movie of all time, 2001: A Space Odyssey by Steven Kubrick. How it's told and how there's actually no noise in space and everything, it is just awesome. The beginning, the middle, and the ending, it was so bizarre, but it works so well. You have the Dark Knight trilogy. These movies are awesome. Batman Begins, a fantastic origin story. The Dark Knight, the best superhero movie out of all superhero movies. And The Dark Knight Rises, very, 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 very good ending to this, like, really well done trilogy. Like, Christian Bale's portrayal as Batman is very good. Christopher Nolan likes to do this thing where his movies are realistic. This is the realistic take of if Batman was real, pretty much. And it's so well executed. The origin story with Ra's al Ghul is awesome. The Dark Knight with Heath Ledger is just so great. And The Dark Knight Rises with Bane and him like ruling over and almost making a dystopia at the end. It was awesome. E.T. Does a little thing. And oh, I love this movie. The ending is just fantastic. John Williams scored. Love this movie. So love it, love it, love it. Next we have Kill Bill by the god himself, Quentin Tarantino. The action, the style, the dialogue, everything about this is amazing. This is Tarantino's turn at an action movie, and he can direct an action movie so well done. This is part 1, and this is my favorite part out of the 2. This is my second favorite Quentin Tarantino movie. The trilogy of trilogies, the Star Wars original trilogy. A New Hope revolutionized sci-fi, the genre of sci-fi. Empire Strikes Back is my favorite science fiction movie of all time. You could argue, that this movie's fantasy because of the Force, but let's be real, just call it sci-fi. Yeah. Return of the Jedi. Not a huge fan of the Ewoks, but it was still a great movie, and my favorite lightsaber fight is him fighting his dad. Spoiler alert. Luke fighting Darth Vader in the Return of the Jedi. The emotion with everything and just the way it's executed and the dolly shot, it was just great. Okay, Pulp Fiction. Pretty much everyone's favorite Quentin Tarantino movie, along with myself. This is my favorite Quentin Tarantino movie. Everything about this movie is pristine, especially the dialogue. The dialogue, you could listen to this dialogue for like 30 minutes and it won't get old. It's so great. This movie is so great. Please, if you haven't seen Pulp Fiction, A, what are you doing with your life? And B, please watch it. It is amazing. My favorite movie of all time so far, Jaws by Steven Spielberg. This movie is, in my opinion, perfect. The dialogue, the action, the cinematography, the story, the characters, everything about this movie is amazing. And this movie was a screw-up, too. There was, like, nothing that really went right with this movie, like, during production. But the movie is still a classic, which is just astonishing to me. If you would call this horror, I'd consider it more of a thriller, but this is definitely my favorite horror/thriller. This is my favorite movie of all time. We have steelbooks. These are... yeah. First we have Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Rise of the Planet of the Apes is... I love this movie. I absolutely love this movie. It had great scenes. The CGI is insane. The motion capture. Andy Serkis, just everything about this movie is so great. Caesar and how everything really starts is just great. This movie's very good. Very slick steelbook. You can see the helicopter, the bridge scene at the end on the design. So yeah. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. This is a great sequel. The cinematography was insane. The motion capture just got even better. The character arcs and the story were just really, really, really good in this movie. And we have Kingsman, The Secret Service. This movie was very good. I really, really, really like this movie. I haven't really seen too many spy movies, but this is my favorite so far. Granted, I haven't seen any James Bond movies, but this movie is very good. We kind of get it when they keep on referencing James Bond and saying this isn't a movie and sort of breaking the fourth wall, and Samuel L. Jackson's kind of list kind of gets a little old and kind of just why at times. Oh yeah, the camera movement and the action, the choreography of this movie was just amazing. Then we have the 1960 Alfred Hitchcock classic Psycho. Classic horror. Alfred Hitchcock, he really outdid himself with this film. And the twist and everything about this was great. Alright, well, that about wraps up all the Blu-ray. Now I gotta put all this shit away. Thank you for the 7 people who are watching this. I guess thank you for watching, and yeah.